everybody, and welcome to WTS 256. My name's Danny Murray.
And I'm Graham Merrigan.
Graham Merrigan, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good.
I wanted to shoot straight in on something, actually. I'm at the blindsiding you.
Yeah.
And I want you to fill me in on how...
Craig David.
How
the song Fill Me In? Can you fill me in?
Me in. Oh, he's after making a bit of a resurgence, hasn't he?
I've no idea. I don't follow trendy trends. Is he?
Yeah.
Is that like when S Club start touring, but it wasn't S Club 7, it was S Club 4. and they start doing nightclubs in Dublin and Ballyhonus.
Ballyhonus. And Abbey Leaks.
There is a pizzeria in Abbey Leaks called Polly's. And really? It's fucking delicious.
I forget what I wanted to ask you. Oh no, tell me this, right? Firstly, hey everybody, welcome to this week's What's the Story podcast. Danny, tell me this. Yes. How in the hell has Boris Johnson survived so far?
Holy
As we record
Lord.
This, he is still the leader.
People used to call Bertie Ahern the Teflon Taoiseach because nothing stuck to him. But Boris Johnson has just, with all the pun intended because of Michael Gove's ministerial position, Boris Johnson has levelled up on the Teflonness of his reign. Teflonness of his tenure would have been better illiterate. Anyway, how I don't understand anybody else, and this would have tipped him off. And then for him to fucking throw across the House of Commons floor accusations at Keir Starmer about Jimmy Savile.
Yeah.
And
where did I know Keir Starmer used to be the head of the British equivalent to the DPP?
DPP or whatever, yeah.
But what has that got to do with Jimmy Savile?
Absolutely nothing. It's classic fucking smoke and mirrors from Boris Johnson.
And a lot of his colleagues in the Conservative Party want him to withdraw that remark.
Yeah, and he's had, before we went on air, I was reading news, we're recording this of a Thursday evening, one of his most senior aides has resigned because he wouldn't withdraw the mark. But he doesn't care. He'll just go full Trump.
He's reckless though, isn't he?
He's a madman. But I think that's possibly what gets, because anyone who had any shred of self-decency would wake up, look at themselves in the mirror of the morning after the night before and go, I have to do what's right. But yeah. Boris is just like, blah, blah, blah. Of course I won't do what's right. Blah, blah.
So what happens now? Where do you see it going? Like how has, to this point, he hasn't resigned out of pure stubbornness on his part?
And because there's enough chaos everywhere else to distract people, and that's what's keeping him afloat, in my opinion. So you've got Russia.
So will he stay then?
I think so. I think unless there is an almighty heave from within his party, which there won't be because the Conservatives are so far behind in the polls, they'd be leaving an open net for Keir Starmer and Labour, and that is a weak Labour party at the moment. Let's be honest, yeah. They should be making fucking mince meat of the Tories at the minute, and they're 9 points. They're struggling to get 9 points ahead or whatever it is. Any fucking.
I still think it's bonkers that he's the Prime Minister.
It is 100%. It is, and the only possible thing here is that enough Tories over the weekend say, "All right, look, Liz Truss is the only way we can get through this and keep a shred of credibility." And even then, it'll be thin ice because Liz Truss isn't exactly the most credible human being on the planet, in my opinion. She's no Preeti Patel and she's no Michael Gove, but she's still toxic enough to me, anyway. But I just don't understand how people have opted to go with the fireworks that are going everywhere else and allow themselves to be distracted by things like Russia, Ukraine, and the Russians off the coast of Ireland and what's going to happen there, the NI protocol, the DUP shenanigans this week. It's as if Britons everywhere are looking for any excuse to look anywhere but directly at the sun. They're doing everything they can but look directly at the sun. It's just mental to me. The sun is exploding and they're just like, so what else can we get angry about? Because that's kind of boring.
And is the Russia thing real?
I don't know. What's the honest answer, man? Like, I mean,
like my point in it all, right? Without I haven't read too deeply into it.
Yeah.
And the reason being is why, like, the UK and the US in terms of telling the public things, and I look to Iraq and Afghanistan and things like that. They have an odious record of telling people lies.
Yeah.
Weapons of mass destruction, that type of thing. So I'm kind of saying to myself, why would I believe them here? Like, and Russia have been, like, in any comms I've seen from Russia, they're honest in as far as they're saying, yeah, we do have troops on the border because we don't want Ukraine joining NATO. So, NATO's coming too far east for us, so we'll just relax. And that's not justification, not at all.
No, but at the same time, I think we have to look. Vladimir Putin is no saint. He is absolutely no saint. He's a bad bollocks of the baddest variety, but he's not the devil that the West make him out to be either. So there's this kind of checks and balance thing, and there's two sides to every story, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth. So I'm not going to pretend I know everything that's going on. I haven't a fucking breeze for the most part of it. The little bit that I do know, though, I know enough to know something smells fishy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, and that's not a pun to the Irish fishermen who stood up to the Russian ambassador.
The Federation.
Which is absolutely...
An Irish fisherman drove the Russian Federation out of Irish waters.
That will be a play that the people of Cork are going to, because alone it
will be.
At its time. 100% it will be.
Yeah. Be reeling in the ears as well.
Fucking gold reeling in the ears content right there. But I think, as you were saying there, like, Russia has a right to move its troops within its own borders, because potentially there is a surge in the number of troops on the opposing side, let's say, for the want of a better word. But I think people seem to forget that, like, yes, Russia are moving their troops towards the border, but they're doing so because they see what NATO and the Ukraine are doing around the movement of their troops. And you hear about Biden flying in 3,000 US troops to the Ukraine to shore up. That, in Russia's eyes, is a provocation. They're provoking them. They're saying, well, if you put your troops there, we're going to get in extra troops. And it's like saying, Russia, you can do what you want, but the Western world and NATO are going to do what we want, and we're going to show you we're better and stronger than you. Everybody just needs to back away from the fucking bus here for a minute, like.
But aren't America very paranoid about the safety of the people in America? Like, when you looked at the Saddam Hussein situation, again, Saddam Hussein wasn't a nice man. But was Saddam Hussein a threat to the people that live in America? I don't think so.
No, but this is
Afghanistan, was the state of Afghanistan a threat to the people of America?
But isn't this the whole thing? Isn't this
Vietnam? It goes back to the Vietnam War, thinking that the Vietnamese are a threat.
The Korean War and all the stuff that went on there, and I know it's slightly different context, whatever, but like with the exception of 9/11, what was the last country to attack America? Because
Japan, Pearl Harbor,
yeah. And then, with the exception of that, what was the last country to do it to that before that? Do you know what I mean? Like, so when you look at it, America absolutely has this paranoia, and America absolutely has this thing of world police, and I don't agree with it. I don't think that they're right. And in some ways, it's kind of like, well, during the Cold War and everything, isn't it just as well we had them because checks and balances and whatnot? But you could equally argue, well, isn't it just as well that we had the Soviet Union because we needed a check and a balance against the American superpower as well? Like, there's no simple solution to any of this, but America is more often the aggressor than the victim. And we'd all do well to remember that.
Absolutely. And that's why because both of us are really into current affairs and politics and stuff like that, with this whole Russia thing, I'm kind of pleading ignorance to it, in as far as I'm kind of. I think I'm in my head going, this is going to pass. Like this is going to pass.
It is going to pass. I think it will. Look, none of them. Putin doesn't want a war. Biden doesn't want a war. The Ukrainians don't want a war. NATO doesn't want a war.
Where would China sit on this?
I'd say China are biding their time on this one. And they're sitting.
Is that a pun?
I believe I'm full of them today. They're sitting back and they're like, let's just see how this plays out before we pledge allegiance to one side or the other. I don't think they would pledge allegiance to one side or the other anyway. But I think they would.
They're just doing their own thing, though, aren't they?
They are.
They don't really care about anyone else.
Like a conflict would work for them because it allows them to continue their streak towards supremacy in terms of the latest superpowers. Do you know what I mean? But like America is that dying star. It's not burning as bright as it once did, and it's not coming back either. Like not anytime soon.
It's a mad country, isn't it?
Russia is clinging on to what was the power of the Soviet Union, which was never really a power. They were just amazing bullshit artists that had everyone believing they were as big and bold as they were. Like, you know.
So who are the superpowers now then?
China's definitely one, you know. Like America and Russia still are to a large extent, but they're not the superpower they once were. They're effectively George Foreman and Muhammad Ali in their late 40s. You still wouldn't want to poke off them, but you'd fancy their chances. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that kind of carry on. It's like in India, arguably as well, purely just based on their population. And there's loads of people who know a lot more about this than I do. But like,
yeah, we are so amateur here.
There's a whole fucking plethora of things that go into what makes a superpower. But what I would say comfortably and very much so I'd stand over it is, would America and Russia be the two heavyweights in the ring should a global conflict break out? No, I think they'd be the light heavyweights. That's just my own opinion though.
The light heavyweights?
As opposed to the heavyweight. Neither one of them is Mike Tyson in his prime, like. Sorry. It's all right. People get distracted. It happens.
Ballybrack Bulls are related. Ballybrack Bulls are back playing this Saturday.
Excellent.
Yeah, we went back to training on Monday, and I was in bits right up until this morning, Thursday.
How are things now at the wheelchair? Because everything was on hold as a result of COVID. And
it was on hold. Recommenced in November. We played a game against Colester, and we were kind of nervous about going back because of COVID, and because Omicron at the time was kicking off, and none of us wanted to be sick. So the Monday night of training, we had the match on Tuesday, and we had a match on that Saturday. Yeah. So we kind of said we'll play the match on Tuesday, we'll play the match on Saturday, and we'll assess it again next week in training. So we played the match on the on the Tuesday, and then on the Wednesday morning we got a notification to say that the referee tested positive for COVID. So we, Ballybrack Bulls on our own, went on an extended break from training and participation from the end of November up until 2 weeks ago. We're back at training, and we're back our first match since that Colester game. So the structure, it's not really, like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but just with everything that's going on, the best kind of solution was to have a league where there was just, you play a team once as opposed to playing a team twice. So in our break, we missed 3 games that we have to reschedule. So we'll play 6 games between now and the end of April.
Lovely. So that's a pretty packed schedule, all things considered then.
Yeah, it is. So we play on Saturday, and then we play on the 23rd of February in Kilkenny, Wednesday evening. And then we play 3 games in March. And that's we're actually playing in Clonaslee on Monday, March 7th, near you.
I'll be making my annual pilgrimage to Clonaslee for that one, yeah.
It's a Monday evening, 7:30.
Lovely. Are you not playing on a Saturday in Clonaslee as well? Is it 19th?
It's a Monday because it was an outstanding fixture. It was originally supposed to be on Saturday. So
what's that date here? What's that date? I'll write it down so I don't forget.
Monday the 7th of March at 7:30.
Monday the 7th of March at 7:30. Oh, I can't. I'm busy.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that's the day that I'm cutting my toenails.
Yeah.
That's a military operation, Graham. We actually need superpowers involved to get through them there. So, it's,
Will you be getting them done for your wedding?
well, the March cutting will see me through to November. They walk around barefoot in the carpet here like claws, just, do you know what I mean, clawing me way up the stairs.
How is the wedding planning?
It's going to, and for the record, I'd like to say I cut my toenails once a week. I'm not an animal.
And you've hired Frank, you have?
Gary Mackle was very kind and reached out to his friend, who is now my friend, Frank. Could you pronounce it properly, please?
Oh, sorry, Frank.
And where he's on a consultant basis, he's providing help. He's not under contract. He's freelancing, but he's providing invaluable assistance. And to be honest, though, I think if I didn't know better, I think Frank is actually asking Gary, and Gary's providing the details to Frank, because it seems to be of a level of taste that could only be coming from somebody with such immaculate taste as Gary Mackle. So
I agree. And Gary's on huge commission with Frank.
Oh, I'd outstandingly so, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And it's probably Gary for the best.
Gary will have a huge say in what happens at your wedding as well.
I fully expect him to. In a way, I'm so happy that Gary could find time to agree to attend, because I know he's a busy man with many things on. But it gives me a bit of reassurance that if something is not right on the day, he'll let me know and we'll get it addressed. So,
are the dogs going to the wedding?
They're not. No, they're not. The dogs are going on holiday for a few days.
Was there ever a suggestion of them being involved in the ceremony or the day?
There was, yeah. In the early planning phase, we had hoped, and we did. We had a little idea to have the three of them involved. We've obviously since lost Callie and whatever, but unfortunately, the venue was just, we couldn't convince the venue to break their no canine rule. So,
really?
They thought we were mad. We were like, are pets allowed to stay in this hotel? They were like, no. And I was like, are really well-trained pets allowed to stay in this hotel? And they were like, no. And I was like, are guide dogs allowed? And they were like, service animals are. And I was like, how quickly can you get a dog registered?
You could just get a dog's vest.
I might do that. I might just, on Wish or Etsy or one of them, you can get that and done there for a $5, can't you? So I'll just get like some sort of service animal vest made up for them and be like, there you go. It'll go horribly wrong when Polly shits on the carpet at dinner, but look.
I could probably get away with that, actually.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I wouldn't like to use, I think, given your experience of using your chair as a prop at Halloween, I think those days of prop utilisation are gone now, are they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My 30th birthday was the last time I used my chair as a prop, and I won't be using it again.
Was that the DJ box?
Yeah, Keith made me a DJ box and I couldn't move in it.
It looked class, but I'd imagine it was a nightmare to get around in.
That was a nightmare. It was in
The Graduate, was it?
Yeah, it was class. Yeah. That's when Mark Brock dressed up as Cain.
That's Cain, yeah. I'd say trying to get around The Graduate in that DJ box is a bit like pulling a 45A into the bar.
Yeah.
So, I still haven't made a note of it. Sorry, hang on. March 7th at 7:30 in Clonaslee, yeah?
Yeah, Monday.
Just filling in my diary on the podcast as we record. No big deal.
I've started to use my calendar and my phone for things. I'd always use my head, but I'm always forgetting now. So
as you get older, your head's letting you down, is it?
It is, big time. And the size of it, like, of a mallet.
There we go. Right, that's in my diary name. My attendance is confirmed. Pending, I don't have any positive lateral flow / antigen tests.
Yeah.
Are you doing them? Do you do them regularly yourself or anything?
No, not regularly. No, when my mother bear got COVID over the Christmas, myself, my dad and Carl did. I did one.
Yeah.
When she first got it. And then because I had no symptoms, I wasn't doing it. Carl wasn't doing it. My dad had to do them for work. He was all negative. And my mum did them. She tested positive around the end of Christmas.
Yeah.
And she then did a PCR. So it was gas, right? My mum tested positive on a Wednesday. She couldn't get a PCR till the Friday, and the results from the PCR came back on Sunday, which was obviously positive. But she, out of curiosity, on the Saturday evening, she did an antigen and tested negative.
Yeah.
Then she did another antigen on the Tuesday and tested negative. So we're kind of wondering how long she even had COVID for, because now she was triple vaxxed.
Yeah.
So she wasn't sick at all. She had a few sniffles and she had an ache in her back for a few days. But from Wednesday, I think she might have only had COVID from Wednesday to Saturday.
In terms of symptomatic, like.
And I had as in testing positive. She tested positive on the Wednesday on antigen, and then took an antigen on the Saturday and tested negative.
Oh, sorry, I'm with you. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I did read anecdotally on Twitter, just people saying that that people that were triple vaxxed that apparently got Omicron, it was only in their bodies for 4 to 6 days.
I'd read something, and now fact check us, lads, by all means, unless you're Gary Dempsey, in which case shag off, you absolute spoofer. But if again, anecdotally, and I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a virologist, but I believe that dose of COVID plus the combination of boosters and whatnot means the viral load you carry is significantly diminished against, because that's the whole idea. The boosters are doing their job, like.
Exactly, yeah. So she said she did the guidelines and that she isolated. I think because she was triple vaxxed, she had to isolate for 7 days, maybe.
Right.
And she did all that. So thankfully, it's bizarre that my dad or brother didn't get it.
Yeah, but I suppose, look, yous are all triple hit as well, aren't you? So, like,
my dad was on the sofa with the dog for 7 nights.
He probably was. He was just loving having run of the house, I'd say, that was he?
The dog?
Well, yeah, Suxy as well. I do them all the time.
For what? Like for work?
No. Just if I'm going anywhere that I'm going to be around people. Like if I'm going up to my ma or whatever, I'll do one before I go up, just in case there's sort of no symptoms or whatever, because I'm triple hit and I would expect to be all right.
How many would you say you've done?
I would say since the middle of December, I've done about 10. I'd say I've done.
Jesus.
And I just do them out of like.
I've done 2 since Christmas.
Yeah, no, if I'm going anywhere there's going to be people around me or anything like that, if I'm going to something, I'll be like, I'll do it just to be. And I know you're probably not. That's probably overkill on my behalf. But
no, it's good. It's cautious. You know? Like you're being extra cautious. So.
But I have a lot of vulnerable people in my life, so that's why I'm kind of like, I'd rather be safe than sorry or something, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure somebody like fucking G Demps will listen to that and be like, "See, Project Fear. That's what that is. He's subscribing to Project Fear. That's what he's doing."
The like, Nuremberg experiment.
Yep, that's it. The Great Replacement. That's what it's all about. I seen a conspiracy the other day from somebody who was being quite prominent, posting about the pandemic, as they call it, who put up a thing. Bearing in mind, Graham, it's January, it's winter, right? Birds tend to migrate at this time of year. You know what I mean? Now, with climate change and global warming, it's happening less because they're confused, but that's besides the point. The message read, have you noticed there is a significant drop in the number of birds in the sky lately? Clearly, the batteries are being changed and the surveillance tools are being upgraded.
No.
Crows, blackbirds, fucking blue tits, the works. I
didn't know where that was going. So was someone suggesting that the birds were remote controlled?
Yeah, that birds are fucking drones or something, and that they're in the sky as devices to monitor us.
It's bonkers.
You know? Have you ever like think the number of birds in the sky? Why did you never see dead birds on the ground? Or rest my case. That's the type of person you're dealing with. So we long for the days where conspiracies were a bit of crack and you could talk about them and just, you know.
I remember me and you privately used to always kind of talk about them. But as you said ages ago, we had the ability to know that, geez,
You could switch it off.
You could switch it off, like. Yeah. But I having listened to all of Finding Q as well, that is just bizarre. I'd honestly urge anyone can get Audible on a free 30-day trial. Get it for Finding Q alone, and then BBC, just cancel, because it's a great podcast. Yeah. But it's just like, you know, the interviews where he had with your man that he suspected of being Q. I believe he definitely is Q.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Yeah, with you.
Your man was so intimidating, and you know,
you'll meet my friends. You'll meet my friends.
Yeah. When he doorstepped them. But I do, like, I've been telling a lot of people as well that conspiracies in America, particularly, it's an industry.
Oh, it is.
You know, it's like the evangelical movement. Like, these evangelical pastors sell out 50, 60,000 capacity stadiums in America and deliver their message. And they go on about God this, God that, and they probably think that, of course, if they're that way inclined, that they are charitable. But none of them have given to charity. It's zero.
They're driving around in Lamborghinis and living.
And Danny O'Brien's show, I think it's Danny O'Brien, Danny McBride maybe, the comedian.
There's a Danny O'Brien comedian from Greystown. It's a lovely fella. We had him on the podcast a long time ago.
Wrong lad, and it's the American dude that was in a lot of the Seth Rogen films.
Right.
He wrote a show called The Righteous Gemstones, I think it's called.
Yes, yeah, I know. John Goodman
John Goodman, one of my favourite actors, is in it. And it's basically a take the piss look at the evangelical movement in America. It's a comedy, like, about a dysfunctional evangelical family, and it's brilliant.
The evangelical movement.
Some Americans are mad.
The evangelical movement should have stopped once Borat came out. That should have been enough to make people realise what a fucking sham it is.
Big time.
You know what I mean? But it's mad to me that that's the kind of thing that carries on, and the fucking scandals that they're all embroiled in and all that. But, like, people just have such faith in this fucking 300-page book that they, you know.
It's also like people that are that way inclined, they're like, they've gone through some sort of trauma or addiction or something, and they're looking for something to hold on to, and sometimes these things can help them through it, but
they can. But they're being manipulated in a lot of instances there. Like.
Yeah, and they're allowing their personalities take over this way of thinking. Like,
yeah. Like, look,
some of the people that we know from over the years that were using social media to be a conspiracy martyr, like, you just love to say to them, you're putting so much energy into this daily. People putting 1 and 2 posts on social media every day about, look, watch this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and none of it happened.
I know. I've a couple of, like, there'll be a couple of what I'd say are, like, very, very good mates of mine who are, I'm not going to say they're anti-vax, but they're vax hesitant, shall we say. And I'm saying that to be respectful towards them, because I'm not looking to fall out with them, and I'm not looking to cause shit. They have their opinions the same way I have mine. Everyone is entitled to it. I would, however, strongly believe their opinion is nonsense in this instance. And like some of the things that I've heard and some of the stuff that I was sent and whatever around why you shouldn't get vaccinated and then why you shouldn't get boosted and all. And I'm like, every single bit of this is being disproved. Every single, if you look beyond your little fucking confirmation bias and your Facebook messages and your missus who is fucking reading from Sharon on the dole who tells you that fucking Nicki Minaj's cousin got ball cancer from it or whatever the fuck happened.
Remember that.
It's everything. Just actually sit down with a legitimate scientist and a legitimate fucking virologist and just sit down and read an interview or read something from them. We had fucking Professor Luke O'Neill on this podcast a year ago.
People don't like him though now because he's been on the telly. In their eyes, he's been on the telly too much.
Part of this whole thing of MSM, mainstream media, RTE is the virus and all. Fuck off, lads! For God, like, let's be honest here. RTE are the people who gave us a late show that sang Ireland's call to celebrate the end of restrictions. Do you really think they're capable of organising mass fucking hysteria and no.
Wasn't that cringy, Danny?
It was absolutely horrific. And I say that as an advocate for the Ireland call. I think Ireland's call is a suitable anthem for a 32 county all Ireland Ireland. And even I went, that is absolute dog piss.
Did you see there was one bloke sitting in the audience?
I respect that. Yeah, it was it was like the Ronan O'Gara meeting the Queen.
Oh, hands in the pockets.
Yeah,
hilarious.
But yeah, man. Look, I think the world's a mad place, and it takes mad characters. And in many ways, those characters are kind of they're the light at the end of the tunnel because they offer the fucking moment, rather it's at their expense or rather they're in on the joke, but it offers a moment of levity sometimes.
Yeah,
but it drive you mad as well.
Absolutely drive you mad. It stress you out.
Yeah.
So I suppose the two of us are here because we've no guest. We have
very astutely pointed out a half hour into this. Yeah,
we've 9 soft confirmations, and we're waiting for 9 people to get back to us. So if those 9 people are listening, can you get back to me, please, and stop blue ticking me? Can
you stop this, Cardi? The restrictions are lifted. Everybody has things to be doing. We're all busy people. We get it. But like, come on now. People want to hear your dulcet tones on this award-winning audio sensation that is What's the Story podcast.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think, look, it's a short and sweet podcast for us this week, purely because it is just the two of us. We were back last week with a wonderful Even More. We got a lovely reaction to that as well. So thanks very much for listening. Thanks very much for listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, we figured we were only just back 1 week. We didn't want to go without doing more, so that's why.
But this is
we haven't done an episode of just two of us in a long time, because the last couple of times we tried to do it, we were both just too grumpy. And after listening back to edit it, I was like, Mero, we're not putting that out.
You edited it and you were like, there's no way I'm putting that out.
Just
it only happened once.
Yeah, to be fair, it did, yeah. But it's mad now because, like, I do wonder, like, I'm also conscious at times, right, that this podcast, like, we're two white men in our 30s, and people who listen to snippets of this or listen to, like, just, you know, a little bit of it, as we've seen from reviews that are being left on some of the podcast providers with their bro culture and Joe Rogan light, and I take that personally. I'm like, Joe Rogan.
I don't want to be called Joe Rogan light.
Look, I'm
not.
Can
you take that review down?
No, you can't. That's the downside, because Apple are dickheads and they don't let you. So yeah, some of the comments up there are, you know, so if anybody wants to balance that out, and if they want to leave us a nice review, then I wouldn't say no to that. But what I will say is this much: we won't be threatening Spotify to remove our podcast in protest against Joe Rogan. As much as I think Joe Rogan is a pandemic in himself, Spotify gives a lot of listeners, so
we're not leaving.
Exactly. We're not going anywhere. We're not fucking leaving.
What are you watching lately, Dan?
What have we been watching lately? I watched something very good, actually, that I really was enjoying, and I can't fucking think of the name of it now. I'm
watching Gomorrah.
Gomorrah? I didn't think you would be into that.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, but the first season was sensational.
Really good.
And I expected from, because of subtitles, that I'd be falling asleep, but no, I'm very invested in the characters, and it's excellent so far. I've started season 2, so I'm gonna hopefully piss through that over the next couple of weeks.
I've started Ozark again. I watched the first season and a bit of Ozark, and then
what's Ozark about?
It's right, so it's this fella who gets in with the Mexican cartel. He doesn't want to get in with them, but he ends up in with them. And essentially, he moves from Chicago to the Ozark region of America and becomes their pawn in terms of washing their illegal drug money and whatever. So it becomes, like, basically legal money for them. And it's very interesting from there. That's a very brief synopsis of it, but it's good. It's good. No, it is good. Generally, it is good. It's Jason Bateman is the.
Oh yeah, I like Jason Bateman.
Me too. That's the main reason I watched it, because I like him. His wife is a bit annoying in it now.
There's a new one out on Disney about
Pam and Tommy.
Yeah. Now. Yeah. I thought this was going to be 2 or 3 episodes, because I'm thinking that's all you need. Yeah. But a review this evening on the 6 o'clock show, or yesterday evening, it's 8 episodes. Like, are they just
dragging the arse out of that?
Dragging the arse out of it, because they dragged the arse out of Dopesick.
Dopesick, I think, was 2 episodes too long.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, because it's the same makers, of Pam and Tommy, I'm thinking that is this going to be 2-3 episodes too far? But Seth Rogen's in it, and I love Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I do like Seth Rogen. There's a show I'm watching called Ghosts. Right, I'm watching the American version of it. There's an English version as well on BBC, but I'm watching the American version, and it's just a little sitcom comedy thing, right? But the premise is this couple inherit this old country house that's a bit run down, and they decide they're going to give up their job in the city and they're going to move down. They're going to renovate the house and open it as a B&B. And they're in there a day, and your one falls down the stairs and nearly dies. And because she nearly dies, then she can see ghosts, and she can see all the ghosts that haunt this house. And it's very funny. I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
It's a comedy, is it?
Yeah, it's a comedy. Yeah, and all the ghosts. So like this house is like 400 or 500 years old. So the ghosts that are in there are like there's one like Wall Street fella from like the 90s. Then there's like this fucking.
What station is that on?
I can't remember what station it's on.
It's on your Android box, is it?
No, Graham. All the media I consume is through legal means. Could you withdraw that, please? But I'm sure that somebody did have something like an Amazon Fire Stick. They went into the series section of such a device, and they searched ghosts. It more than likely would be there.
My apologies.
But yeah, no, I don't partake in those things.
No, nor do I.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very good. That's worth a watch. And then I watched a film. What film did I watch recently that I very much enjoyed? I can't remember. I'm terrible for memory in terms of it's only when somebody goes, "Did you see such and such?" I go, "I did." But if you ask me off the top of my head, The Tender Bar. That's what it's called. It's Ben Affleck. George Clooney directs it. It's an Amazon.
Oh, I heard about it.
And I loved every fucking minute of it.
Is it a film?
It is a film, and it's just a very nice, leaves you with a warm feeling. Just a nice film.
Very good.
And I love Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck. They could remake Jaws, and Ben Affleck could be the shark, and I'd watch it.
Very good.
Love Ben Affleck. The Town is amazing. You ever see The Town?
No, I haven't seen The Town.
It's absolute. It's Ben Affleck, Jeremy Renner, and your man from Mad Men. I can't remember his name.
Never watched Mad Men either.
Mad Men's a very, very good show. It's worth watching. But and it's about bank robbers in Boston, and it's the Boston accents alone make you want to watch this every day.
I love the Boston accent.
Well, watch The Town. I'm telling you, there's your homework. Watch The Town. You'll love it. I promise you'll love it.
Did I see The Town? I think I might have seen it actually.
It's absolute. Jeremy Renner is brilliant in it, but I like Jeremy Renner. Love Hawkeye. Go on, Hawkeye.
Right, Dan, will we call it a day?
Think so, because we're just rambling about stuff that we've watched that we can't remember the name of. So this is fucking useless.
Whatchamacallit, the thingamajig.
Did you not see that show with your wand in it? You know your wand with the hair. People listening to this going, what the fuck are these two lads on?
Yeah, Joe Rogan lie.
Joe Rogan lie, bro. I'm off now to do an isolation tank, take some DMT, possibly do a bit of hot yoga, and then do some running up some hills along with me Labrador while I chase off mountain lions.
I love the memes. There was a meme. I watched the Celtic and Rangers match last night, which is a very entertaining match.
Yeah.
Amazing atmosphere. And I woke up this morning to see a meme, Joe Rogan meme. Picture of Joe Rogan, and it said now Celtic annihilated. The Rangers were abysmal.
Yeah.
And the meme is Joe Rogan, and it says, I actually read a report that says Rangers played quite well tonight. We'll leave it there. If you want to listen to any episode of What's the Story podcast, you can go to any podcast provider and search WTS Pod. You can go to our website, WTSpod.com, or we're on Twitter at WTS Pod. Danny is at Danjo Murray. I'm at Merrigan Mania. Hopefully next week we'll have a lovely guest, and I think we do already have one booked. And until next time, Danny.
Clear eyes.
Full hearts.
And blue.
Peace.